Okay, DC electric motor build. We need to start by cutting some raw materials and prepping them. Our uprights and our field magnet. We're going to use 3/4 inch by 1/8 inch flat stock, and we are going to cut one piece at 6 inches of length for our field magnet. That'll be bent in a little bit, so I'm using a scribe or a scratch awl here. This works, and it's cheaper than a Sharpie. Okay, there's a 6-inch mark. And then I can go ahead and mark this out right away because I'm shearing. I'm not going to lose any material. So I'm going to go a 4-incher, which gets me to 10, and another 4-incher, which gets me to 14. So I've got a 6, a 4, and a 4. Okay, 2 options for the shear. We can use the Beverly shear here, and this is a hand-operated shear made in America. And we'll demonstrate one time on the 6-inch piece here on the Beverly shear. Now the jaw, come here, we'll just show this. This can get hung up here because it's got some age on it. So you've got to help it past like that, okay? And now that it's passed, I can set my material in. I want to make sure that I am perpendicular to the jaws here so that this thing is a 90-degree angle. And I might have to help by holding it down here. And it takes a pretty good amount of force to cut this through, okay? So that's one option, Beverly shear for my 6-inch. Come over to the Piranha, set my 6-inch aside. This is a hydraulic shear with a little bit more oomph. So my on button here, I'm going to insert my material, and you're gonna have to come in close to see this. I wanna be parallel with this guide here, so not back and forth, just parallel, so it's flush there. Then I'm going to slide through, and if you can see the jaws on the inside, I'm flush with the cutting surface now. I'm going to go to my 4-inch mark. Right there, I can see the 4-inch mark anyway. You can see my scribe mark? Maybe? I can see it from this side here. Yep. Okay. So I'm lined up with the jaws, and then the activator. Make sure the cameraman's clear. To actuate this, I'm going to go down here, move this out of the way. Make sure your fingers are clear of this, and I'm holding this tight. Brings the jaws down, they'll cut right now. Okay, and then I bring the releasing lever the other way. And I've cut a 4-inch piece. I can put this through to cut the other piece. Down. Now I have to run that through the full stroke of the machine, but I did. Last step for these, which we'll include in this video, is to radius the ends. Now we are showing you a separate belt sander video, which is essentially safety of the belt sander, which talks about not sanding, mainly not sanding up into the sanding wheel like this. We want to stay at a downward side. These corners are very sharp because they've been sheared, and the edges are, and we want to radius those and soften the edges. That'll take care of our corners. This will take care of our edges. So each one we want to finish something like this so it's softened, not too sharp. There's actually a little bit of leftover steel there from being sheared. And what we'll end up with is a 6-inch piece and 2 4-inch pieces that have the ends cleaned up, and they're ready for our next steps.